Alright, you boomerites. How we doing? It's King Boomer here. This is going to be another reaction video. I'm changing it up a little bit, though. This is not a request. I found this video. I think I was looking for something else, but this came across, and it seemed interesting, to say the least. It is called The Top 10 Most Hated Countries in the World. And it's by, the channel is World According to Briggs. Now, I got a feeling that I'm going to like this and subscribe to this guy right away. Because I love stuff like this, you know, top 10 things. But this is interesting. But I also have predictions, okay? My prediction is, since, you know, most of this channel is catered to the UK, and most of my subscribers are from there, I have a prediction for this video. I believe that the number one on this list will be the United States. I mean, lots of people hate us, so why not, right? My other prediction is that England, specifically England, not the UK, but England, will be number 3 or 4. Maybe I should narrow it down to give it an exact one. I'll put it at 3. I think it's going to be 3. England's going to be 3. That's my prediction. Because lots of people love to hate us. They really do. Should I throw a wild card in there? I don't know. If I'm wrong about number 1, I think it's going to be United States. But if I'm wrong, I think it's going to be North Korea, because nobody likes them. Even the very few countries that put up with them don't even like them. So I would say that would be number 1 if it's not the United States, but we'll see. This is welcome to the world of Briggs. This is top 10 most hated countries in the world. Let's check it out. I got a feeling I'm really gonna like this and subscribe to this guy's channel afterwards. So let's check it out.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to World According to Briggs and a list about the most hated countries on the planet. Yeah, people hate different countries.
It's just a kid raging.
Do different surveys on what country is the most hated or disliked on the planet.
That's funny.
Reputation Institute, Pew Research does this thing called Attitude Towards Different Countries. I looked at all the different surveys that I could find, and I came up with a list of countries that most frequently show up on these studies or surveys, whatever you want to call them. There are
United States is definitely one of them.
From other countries may hate another country. It could be things that happened in the past or now. It could be for economic reasons or military reasons. For whatever reason, people hate. It's just a fact. This is
Lots
a very
of them are
interesting
probably
list.
military
I found
reasons.
some on the list. They really haven't done anything horrible in decades and decades, but people hate them going back hundreds and hundreds of years. It's really strange. All right, let's see what people say are the most hated countries.
Number 10.
Number 10, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is an oil-rich
Okay.
country in the Persian Gulf, and everyone's heard of Saudi Arabia. This place is highly dominated by religious laws and go all the way to medieval punishments like stoning, lashing, amputation for thieves. Women really get a raw deal here too, with lack of most freedoms that we take for granted here in the United States that are just part of our normal life. I was reading some of their laws thinking, why would they stop a woman from doing that? One of their laws that just baffled me, which I knew about it for a long time, I just thought it was strange, started reading about it, was women, when they go outside the home, have to cover themselves from head to toe, including their faces, and they're not allowed to go any place alone. They have to take a male relative with them. Could be a brother.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I expected that because a lot of those Middle Eastern countries have laws like that. Saudi Arabia isn't the only one. Completely different world over there. A different view, not just different views, but beliefs, but different principles. It's very different over there. I'm not going to get too much into that because, you know, this is more me reacting to this video, but I was not surprised by that. Maybe some of you were, but not me. Yeah, Saudi Arabia isn't the only one. That's all I'm going to say. But let's continue.
Could be their husband, whatever. I'm sure that gets old quick for both the woman and her brother, who every time she's got to go to the store, if her husband's working, she's got to call her loser brother to come over and escort her to the store. They got a whole bunch of other reasons that rub outsiders the wrong way here, and that's what gets them on lists like this. Most tourists will tell you that to stay away from this place because it's kind of boring to visit.
It's boring.
Number 9, Turkey. Turkey has had a love-hate relationship with the world for centuries.
I know the Greeks really hate them.
I know a few of them. All of them are wonderful people. What's putting them on the list, according to several sources, is their current government, and actually their past government when they were the Ottomans. When you go way back, Turkey is hated because of the Armenian genocide. The massacre was carried out by the Ottoman Empire and resulted in the deaths of 1.5 million people. Armenians, mostly. If you don't know the Ottoman Empire, it's probably because you're from the United States. We kind of just brush
Yeah, that, you learn about, especially here in the United States, I'm sure in other Western countries too, you learn a lot about the Holocaust, but at least when I was growing up, they didn't mention much about the Armenian genocide. I don't know why that is. Maybe because it's, the Holocaust kind of dominated that, even though it was 20 years after the Armenian genocide. It kind of excuse me, the Holocaust kind of dominates our psyche in terms of genocidal practices. So that it's something that the Armenian genocide in particular is something that they may have mentioned when I was growing up, learned about history, but they kind of glossed over it, I think. The Ottoman Empire was huge. A lot of, you think of empires, you think of the Roman Empire or the British Empire, stuff that spanned most of the world, but the Ottoman Empire was pretty damn big too. And they did some wicked stuff, but, it's one of those things that it's kind of neglected in the Western world because it wasn't us that had the empire. A lot of countries like to think the Roman Empire was kind of theirs in one way, but it's one of those things.
In our world history, but the Ottoman Empire was basically big in this area, and it all came from Turkey. And I just totally broad brushed that again, but that's give you the idea what's going on there. Although
I bet it's very beautiful in Turkey, though. Look at that.
It is still denied by the Turkish government. It's like they know it happened, everyone else knows it happened, but if they don't admit it, it didn't happen. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I agree.
Number 8, Iran. I know many Persians.
Iran.
I've worked in Beverly Hills for a lot of years, and it's filled to the brim with
They
Persians.
are just
like Turkey,
crapping all over the Middle East right now.
Very smart and friendly. It's their government. It supports terrorism around the world, has horrible human rights record, keeps threatening the world with nukes, and it likes to piss off the most powerful nations on the planet. The people are great, though.
Does it threaten the world with nukes, though? I mean, I don't think... Maybe I missed something, because I know they've been trying to get nukes, but I've never heard or seen anything that says they finally acquired them, because, we heard all about when North Korea got them, but we hear that Iran is trying to get them, but maybe, I don't watch the news religiously. I just tune in from time to time when something happens because the news is so damn depressing. But I've never heard that they got nukes, so if you know something about that, let me know.
And it's not just the United States they like rubbing the wrong way. Everyone. You're a major power in this world. Iran's gotten under your skin at some point. Number 7, India. If any country excels in discrimination, it's India. This is one of the main reasons people hate this place. The Indians believe that hating you for your color, race, gender is perfectly a normal thing. Now, I'm not saying all of them.
Really?
It's just a general feel. I'm sure you could run into a lot
I
of
was
really
not
nice
expecting
Indians.
that.
This, as you could imagine, puts a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, and it kind of keeps them away from visiting India. The country isn't safe, especially for women. They are cracking down on this, but it isn't terribly rare to find out that some woman was attacked by a group of men. For a while there, it seemed to be happening like every week. I mean, brutal stuff too. Not like touching on the bus or something like that. It was ugly. On top of that, they aren't the best neighbors to other countries around them. They have a really bad reputation for that.
That surprised the hell out of me that India's on that list. Was not expecting that. I don't know I don't know any countries that hate India except for Pakistan. I know they got a big rivalry with Pakistan. That's like a big deal. You know, that's one of those like England and France things, Greece and Turkey, you know, it's just like they're never really going to get along too well. But that surprised me. If anybody knows anything about that, let me know, because I always thought India was friendly. But not according to this video. So who knows? That was wild to me that they were on there. All right, number 6. Here we go.
Number 6, the United Kingdom. Yes,
Oh no!
believe it or not, the United
No! No! God, I got it wrong. And I got the specific country wrong. I said England. Look at all the Union Jacks. I thought England was going to be like number 3 or 4. I thought they weren't just going to group the UK into one entity. But, damn, I was wrong. But you guys are at number 6. Congratulations. You didn't make the top 5 though, so you should be disappointed, I guess. I don't know.
is hated by a lot of people, and it's not so much as what's going on now, it's they have a terrible past. It's thought by many around the world that the UK is extremely greedy, and it ruled about a
Got some
quarter
fresh
of the earth
uniforms,
at one
though. Look at
point.
that.
It was one of the first in the world to bring in a slavery system. It encouraged civil wars, oppressed and looted many countries, and is responsible for the division and destruction of several countries in different continents around the world, and still involved in most of the major wars that happen on the planet. But if you...
That little 30-second explanation right there, that's saying what they used to do. The ironic thing is that the United States does that pretty much now, which I wish they didn't. It's like, I don't mean to like throw my beliefs into this or anything, but you know, one thing I feel very strongly about is that the United States, us as a people, we should not be involved in other countries' affairs. It just gets us in all kinds of trouble, and we're not good at it. It seems like, and we're not built for that. It's, even though we have the strongest economy and military in the world, it's just we are not good at this kind of stuff, and it just makes everyone hate us even more. But sorry for I went on a little political thing there, but that 30 seconds explaining what the UK used to do is basically what we do now, and it kind of saddens me a little bit. But yeah, anyway.
You go way back. I mean, look at anything to do with history, especially here in the United States. You could tell England was they were kind of a-holes. And the arrogance they had back in the day about it was just incredible. One of the best scenes, there's a movie called Last of the Mohicans, and Daniel Day-Lewis is just like a scout woodsman, and this British officer, he saves him. And then he's all, how is it you came across this war party of Native Americans that were attacking the British? And he goes, well, we were heading to Kentucky. He's all, why are you heading to Kentucky? All of our scouts are heading someplace else. And he goes, well, I ain't one of your scouts. And he just, the British officer's demeanor was like, what do you mean?
That's a movie, though.
Yeah,
Come
I'm
on.
just not doing that stuff. Great movie, though. One of the reports I read, there's a big problem with the British. Obviously, they were in India for a very long time, and I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but it seems very interesting, but it's a little more time-consuming than I wanted to get into. They say the UK destroyed India and ruined its education system. What'd they do, like steal all the teachers? What went on there? I gotta read about that.
That was funny.
Number 5, China.
China
has a lot of people, and they execute a staggering amount of them. They have forced labor camps, ugly history, and cheap exports. They've been accused of currency manipulation and have decided that the island of Taiwan belongs to them. There's always something going on between those two. Some of their low-cost products include medicine.
That is a big thing. Look at that city. My God,
to use
that city's
materials
huge.
that are less expensive so they could drive up profits, make the product cheaper. The downside is this has caused some deaths. That type of thing has gone on for decades with them. So many times they found out some toy that was inspected before, all of a sudden they switched it out.
I kind of want to visit China, but I kind of don't.
Like that because it's cheaper. on a kid's toy. As you can imagine, all those things have gotten them on this list.
That's a pretty city. Look at that.
Number 4, Israel.
Ooh.
Israeli people and the Palestinian people have been going at each other's throats for decades and decades. They fire rockets at each other from across the border. The politics and the drama that has gone on here for, like I said, decades and decades is just far too complicated to cover in a 10-minute video. But
yes,
whenever
it
you
is,
have
sir.
warring neighbors, the one that's usually doing the most damage is the more powerful one, which brings on a lot of hatred. And that's part of Israel's problem. I mean, there's a ton that goes into this, but basically the war that they've had with the Palestinian people and the fact that they're a Jewish nation surrounded by Muslim nations probably doesn't help matters either.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
Number 3, Russia. Russia has a history of being aggressive to its neighbors, not just in
yeah, especially right now. Man.
military terms. Economics, hacking, forcing a bunch of countries to join the Soviet Union, and before you say it, yes, some went willingly. At least the people in charge went willingly. It's really hard to find average Joes from the old Soviet Union that were on board with this whole operation. Russia likes to create conflicts between major nations of the world, which is designed to be beneficial to Russia. They like to kill people that disagree with them, no matter what country the person happens to be standing in. You know, like Russians go someplace else, they've been talking to the media bad about Russian government. Next thing you know, they've been poisoned with uranium or something weird like that. They're right now in the news because they have jailed an opposition leader that's been on a hunger strike. This isn't the first time they've done that.
Oh yeah, I heard
All those
about that.
things and some other things make Russia one of the most hated countries on the planet.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Oh no, we didn't hit number 1. We did not hit number 1. I thought we were going to be number 1. Look at that beautiful flag going across the continent, though. Chattanooga Chad will really appreciate that. Because you see that? That's a symbol of freedom right there. I wanted to be number 1 so bad. I don't know why. But, I don't know. Let's see what you have to say about the United States, sir.
States of America. Yeah, you heard me. My country, our country, if you're watching from the United States, is the second most hated country in the world. Now, it's hard to believe if you're from the country, much like if you're from Russia, you're probably, you know, wondering why people would hate Russia. That's just how things are. We're kind of designed to be that way. The United States of America is hated by many because of its vast military and economic power over the rest of the world. And that's just a fact. We've been involved in so many different conflicts which have just angered people from the areas and in the countries that the conflicts happened in.
Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why. Briggs, I'm not crapping on you, man. I love this video. You're doing a great job. But then it hawks back to the point that I made before. I don't want to be involved in other countries' affairs. I just want to trade and wave and say thank you and goodbye, and that's it. Anyway.
A lot of cases wondering why we got involved. You would probably have to go back to the Korean War and World War II to find a time that we were truly justified by going to war there, and the people are probably happy with it 90% of the time. I mean, the people from those countries. But considering we've been involved in all these conflicts, we are one of the wealthiest countries on the planet, and we have the largest military, it's hard not to be hated by third world countries because of that. There are so many other things for all these, really, not just the United States, but for all these countries, there's thousands of other reasons people might hate that country, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of them in the comment section below. Keep in mind, before you tell me I forgot something or I didn't include something, this is
you scroll down, you probably see
I'm
that.
not going to get to everything. I'm just kind of giving you
comment
an idea,
sections
but
are
it
wild.
It's a very interesting subject. It's worth doing some reading on. And before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. There is a link down below.
On This Day?
We'd love it if you went over there, you know, watch a couple videos, maybe subscribe.
I don't know if I'll subscribe to that. I'm definitely subscribing to you, Briggs. Wait a minute. I gotta stop here. Briggs, I'm subscribing to you as soon as I'm done with this one. Number 1. So I thought number 1 would be the United States. I was wrong. We were number 2. I thought number 3 or 4 would be England. I think I settled on 3, but I specifically chose England, but instead it was number 6, and it was the United Kingdom as a whole. So I was wrong about both of those, but I did have one wild card. It was North Korea. So is number 1 going to be North Korea? I don't know. there's not many countries left that I would think people would hate. Other than past reasons, maybe. But I'm sticking with North Korea, so that should be number one. The way this video is going, I think it's going to be North Korea.
And number one.
Yep.
North Korea.
There it is.
Who didn't see this one coming?
The Hermit Kingdom.
When you put as much effort into hiding what is going on in your country as North Korea does, you know what's going on isn't good.
Look at this place.
North Korea has been a big pain in the ass to everyone for a very long time. We
Yeah.
know their people are starving, jailed, executed, they disappear in the middle of the night, and they're subjected to an insane propaganda program. They're told that their leader doesn't have to use the restroom because he works so hard for the North Korean people that he burns off all the calories he takes in, so he never creates any waste. They also tell the people of North Korea that he has to take phone calls from other countries to solve problems that other countries can't figure out. They also have their own Netflix knockoff called Man Bang. I'm not kidding. It's called Man Bang. I don't even know how to explain they came up with that name, but it doesn't mean what it sounds like to Americans.
Man Bang, you naughty boys over there in North Korea.
Something different to them. This is a streaming service that has 3 channels, 2 of which are government news channels filled with nonsense, and 1 channel that shows government-approved movies only. Those who live in the country suffer from restrictions of freedom as their internet access is heavily censored, poor infrastructure, low standard of living, and the reason they're all poor and their infrastructure is crumbling is because they put all their money towards nuclear weapons. This is an obsession with the North Korean government. It threatens the world with nuclear war, like on a weekly basis. They have an aggressive attitude towards neighboring countries, and this has caused them to be pretty much isolated from the rest of the world. And people go on to believe that they're just totally evil, which I'm sure the people are just fine. It's just their government is just whacked. The outside world knows very little of what's going on in North Korea. Every once in a while, we'll get someone that defected over. They finally got out.
I've never seen North Korean city skylines look that pretty.
There was this soldier.
I'm like, I'm skeptical. I'm thinking that maybe that's Seoul. Is that how you say it in South Korea? Because isn't that like right across the border between the two? I'm not sure. I'm probably wrong about that because I'm wrong about a lot of things. But if you know anything about that, let me know, because I've never seen North Korean buildings be lit up like that. So I don't even know if that was legit. It looked more to me like South Korea. But anyway.
That jumped across the border not too long ago, he was starving. He had seeds from trees in his stomach that he just couldn't get enough food, so he was actually eating these big seeds that weren't digested, and it was kind of sad.
Yeah.
All right, that's today's list. Hope you guys got some information out of it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's kind of weird, and it's really weird.
Good job,
to
Briggs.
have to say that,
I liked it a lot.
the
You
United
got a
States is one of the most
subscriber
hated countries
immediately.
on the planet. I love my country.
You got a subscriber. See, I changed it up a little bit today. Different type of reaction video. I love things like that. My predictions were not correct. Well, I mean, my backup number one was, but you know, I was off by 1 with the Americans, and then I was off by 3 with the Brits. I expected us to be much higher. We're not doing enough. We need to get higher on this list. No, I mean, most of the countries on there, it seemed like they would be on that top 10. The one that surprised me, though, was India. India really surprised me. And they were number 7, I think, if I remember right. But that one really surprised me. The only country I know of that really does not like them is Pakistan. But, you know, I don't know that much about India, really, so maybe some of you guys can enlighten me on that, because that was really surprising to me. But I enjoyed the hell out of that video. Maybe I should do more reaction videos like that. Send Briggs a subscription, because that was good. I'm sure he's got others on it. I'll have to check out his other stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching. You can subscribe, like, or do whatever you want. Doesn't matter to me. It's a free world out there. Do whatever you like. This is King Boomer. I'm out of here. Check out the podcast. I got Case of the Mondays podcast. You guys should check that out and have a listen. You guys might like it. All right. Y'all have a great night, great day, whatever time it is. Everybody have a good one. I'll see you next time.